Hey guys, welcome to my corner of the internet. Today I'm going to be talking about Asian parents' expectations and just kind of how it's impacted my life and stuff like that. And for those of you who think that like a journey through my heels is all about Asian stuff, well, it's the journey through my heels and I'm Asian. However, after my series is over, my friend Casey will be on, and she is half white or half Caucasian and half African American, so that'll be like a different experience, obviously, and we all have different experiences in this beautiful journey that we call life. So please don't think like this series is just about like Asian people or just about me. Like, nobody really cares that much about me, but yeah. Anyways, let's get into this. I don't know what this is. Okay, so I grew up very traditional Korean, and there were a lot of double standards of what I could do and what my brother could do, and what I couldn't do but my brother could do. And let me tell you, my brother got away with a lot more shit than I did. Why? Because he was a boy, and I resented that so much growing up. My parents definitely tried to groom me into being a proper woman, a proper Korean woman, where I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't cuss. I used to drink, I used to smoke, and I cussed like a sailor. So, and for those of you who think like Asian women are submissive, get that thought and toss it out the window, because that's not true. Like, all of my friends are boss bitches, and they are far from submissive and cannot be controlled. If anything, we're batshit crazy. So if you ever date an Asian girl, good luck. But because a lot of us are products of like immigrant parents, there's always like a language barrier. And I remember growing up as a kid and going to doctor's appointments to translate for my parents. Like, I got to miss school, and like I would go and translate these appointments for my parents, and I never felt like it was like, why am I doing this? Because I knew a lot of my friends were doing it too, and I know when my parents first came to America, my cousin used to do it for my parents and stuff like that. And it's not like my mom has bad English. Her English is actually really good, so it was kind of weird that I was going. I guess it was just a fear of like getting the right message and like, you know, like not misunderstanding it. So that was normal to me. I guess it wasn't normal to other kids. And growing up, yes. My mom's a licensed cosmetologist, so she did own a hair salon and a nail salon. But didn't really work there. My aunt worked there. And then my dad has owned dry cleaners for as long as I can remember. So they had like the typical like occupation of what Korean people do. Liquor store, dry cleaners, laundromat, hair salon, nail salon. Why? When people come to the States and you know, you don't really know the language and stuff, you got to learn a trade. You got to learn how to either sew or something, right? And it's easier to learn a trade than like trying to go to a university and like getting a degree. So my parents never wanted us to work really hard like that and just kind of like have a cush job. So they really pushed school on us. I went to school 7 days a week for quite some time. I had normal school Monday through Friday, and then I had I had Korean school on Saturdays, which was like 8 to 3, 9 to 3, something like that. And then I had Sunday school on Sundays because, you know, we had to go learn about God. So education was huge. I was lucky enough to where I didn't have to do an after-school program to learn even more. I know a lot of Korean kids went to Hagwon, which was like an after-school program. Thank God, Mom, you never made us do that. So education was really pushed for us, and good grades were expected. it's not like we all had to have like straight A's or anything, but my mom always said you don't have to be the best, but you have to be the best that you can be, and a C is not the best you can be. Like a B, it depends on the subject that you're getting a B in, but A's were expected. So I had good grades, I had good grades for quite some time. And going to college was obviously expected, and making something of myself was obviously expected. And expected from like all of us. It wasn't just like from me, you know. Every Korean kid had to play an instrument, and I swear to God it was piano. So I played the piano for quite some time, like kindergarten. Was it before kindergarten? Preschool, because I remember Miss Jocelyn's academy. Okay, so I played the piano from about preschool to 3rd grade, and then I wanted to play the violin. And so my brother and I were in private piano lessons. My brother was a lot better than me. It is what it is. And then I started playing the violin and did private lessons for quite some time, and I stopped playing the violin in high school. Asked me to play it. It's not gonna happen. I don't even think I can read notes anymore. It's just been such a long time. It's funny because it's like your parents make you play this instrument, but they don't show up to like your concerts, you know what I mean? Like, I was in orchestra through middle school and high school, and my parents were working so much that they never came to those. So I was like, why am I doing this? I want to play sports. I wanted to run track and stuff like that. And I think my mom let me run track sometime in middle school in like 7th or 8th grade, but then in high school, like, I wasn't allowed to. So there's that. My parents have always kind of been like, do something that you can do when you're older. Like, when you're 80, you can't go and run track, you know, but when you're 80, you can still play the piano. No, Mom, because I haven't touched my violin since high school, and can't play it. Sorry. I mean, I should teach myself again, because you've invested a lot of money in that violin and in me. So we were never allowed to like have sleepovers with our friends. I didn't even really know sleepovers were a thing till like elementary school, till a friend of mine was like, hey, like, you should come stay the night this weekend. And I was like, what does that mean? She's like, you come over on Saturday and we'll hang out, and then you can sleep over, and then on Sunday, like after breakfast, you can go home. And I was like, why? Like, why don't I just come over, hang out, and then go home and sleep in my own bed? You know, because I never knew kids did that, like, with friends. I would do it with my cousins, and I only would, like, be able to go to my cousin's house if I didn't have Korean school the next day, or if my parents were being really nice and didn't make me go to church on Sunday. So, yeah, that was a thing. But yeah, I don't think I was allowed to have, like, sleepovers or anything like that till, like, middle school. And it was only if it was, like, an all-girls house. Like, if my friends had brothers, I wasn't allowed to stay there. And I don't want to say my parents were strict, because compared to other, like, Asian parents, my parents were very lenient. But compared to, like, my American friends, my parents were strict. So it was kind of weird. Again, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup in high school or middle school, and I wasn't allowed to date or have boyfriends. But it was kind of weird because when it came to like homecomings and proms, it was like, oh, why don't you have a boyfriend, or why aren't you going with a boyfriend? What? Because you've said no boys. And I respect your rules of no boyfriends. I had guy friends, and that they were okay with me having guy friends and stuff like that. But no boyfriends. It was the rule, and I followed it, and I was okay with it because, again, I wanted to just be like a normal teenager and just hang out and do what normal teenagers do. I don't know. I wasn't really a big troublemaker. So growing up, I was expected to take care of my younger cousins because that's what you do. And because I had so many cousins, it honestly was myself Eric, Hetty, and Daniel. Sometimes my cousin Andrew would be around, but legit it was always the 4 of us. And I wouldn't trade that for the world because we have such a bond that I would never give up. Like, I love them so much, and I had the best childhood with my cousins, and being able to have like that bond that a lot of people don't have with their family members. So I'm very grateful for that, but it also forces you to grow up really fast. And I think because I was also watching like not just my cousins but like their friends too, it made me not want kids. Like, I was a kid watching kids and taking care of kids, and I'm not hating on it. Like I said, like, I'm very happy and blessed to have this kind of relationship with my family, but it sucks. Like, when I think back, I'm like, damn, even though we had a lot of fun and we probably were doing shit that we probably shouldn't have done, like playing on a roof. Yeah, we did that. We like popped out the screen out of my cousin's window and we would like play volleyball on the roof. Thinking back, that probably wasn't the best idea, but that was just shit we were doing. Why? Because we were home alone. Like, how would our parents find out? They'll know after this video. But yeah, for a really long time I didn't want kids. I was like, no, I'm good. I've already feel like I've done my part with kids. So, and I know I'm not the only one that feels this way. I have friends that grew up kind of, you know, the same way of like raising their younger brothers and sisters, because there's like normally a big age gap. And they all said it. They're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't really want kids. I don't want like that responsibility because I've already done it with my brothers and sisters. So, but it's funny because we all have kids now, or a kid. It's fine. So let's fast forward to later in life. Korean people, I don't know if it's just Koreans. I know this tradition comes from Confucius beliefs of like the oldest son takes care of the parents, and like, you know, the parents move in with you and stuff like that. And that was something that I've always wanted to do, was to be financially stable enough to where I can support my parents. Because I don't know, like it's just something that I've always wanted, and a goal of mine is to be able to, you know, purchase a home and for my parents to move in, and for me to be able to give them like an allowance for them to go play and stuff like that. And my parents do help me so much with my daughter, because I do get a lot of crap like, why do your parents have your daughter so much, like like because it's our culture. Like, my grandparents raised us, so my parents are gonna raise my daughter, and it's just gonna be this whole thing. And it's better, I don't want to say it's better, I like the fact that my parents have her over me having to send her to daycare. And don't get me wrong, my daughter has been in daycare, but her aunt owned the daycare, so it's like she's never been in like real daycare. So yeah, I think that's my next expectation that I'm trying to meet, is to be financially stable enough to take care of my parents and to give them a good life like how they've given me a good life. Anyways, guys, I think that's it for this video. Don't forget to tap that subscribe button and that notification bell. We upload every Tuesdays and Fridays, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!